Bobby. So at the same time, as soon as Alex and Arty left, Bobby, you go to make your way over to the secretary's office to check to see if the Wi-Fi is working and to see what you can find. So as you go to the secretary's office, you open up their office, and of course, that's the typical kind of like secretary office. It's like there's the computer, the chair, the keyboard, and all that. This nice mahogany desk. There's a little bit of some organized binders sitting behind it, whatever. It's very minimalistic. And on the desk, obviously, is the monitor itself and everything that you need. So, yeah, you just walk over to the computer.
I was going to walk over to the computer. Are there windows in this office?
Yes.
Do they have the like stereotypical office blind? The horizontal one that you have to you pull.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Bobby, are they open or closed right now?
They are currently closed at the moment.
All right. So before Bobby sits at the computer, he doesn't want to peek outside and take a quick look to see if any zombies are by the church or have been attracted to the church.
Okay. So, Bobby, as you open the blinds and you take a peek through the window, you don't see anything. Obviously, within the limited view that the window is showing, you do see that there's, I guess, controlled chaos is the best way to put it. It's like garbage everywhere, like glass all over the building across the street, that the windows have been broken. You just see the breeze pushing like garbage across the street. You see a car that has been boosted and broken into across. It looks to be the quiet before utter chaos, but you don't see any zombies per se.
So Bobby is going to mutter to himself, this fucking sucks. And he is going to let the blinds close, and he's going to go to the computer, and he's going to try to start the computer up.
Awesome. Alrighty. So, Bobby, as you boot up the computer, at least for what it seems, the electricity is working at the moment, and the computer does boot up. As it boots up, it plays the stereotypical like turn on sound as it turns on and it loads everything.
Okay, cool.
Just because I think it's hilarious. As soon as it's like login screen and it just says username, and then it's just the email of the secretary, and then underneath is the password bar.
Okay. So one of Bobby's skill patches is computers. So I would think that pre-apocalypse, Padre would have brought Bobby in here to use the computer to like print out like flyers for the Boy Scout popcorn sale, or the Brave Scouts popcorn sale, and like other things like the church bake sale and whatnot. So if he doesn't know the password, I think Bobby would know where to look for the password. Because normally the old folk, not to downgrade people, but normally the old folk, especially when they work in an office, they'll write their password down and they'll put it like in a drawer that's easily accessible. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'll take it a step further because this is the secretary's computer. And again, we're not downgrading people here, but from personal experience, from both my profession and in my personal life, usually people of the older folk, Padre knew that you are the tech wizard, as he dubs it. So I'll take it a step further, and you actually help the secretary set up the computer as well. So that definitely... Now, you set it up and you wrote it down for her. So what I'm going to say is I'm going to have you roll for brains to see how well you do. But because this is your computer, you were able to give me a good enough reason as how it comes into play in this situation, you get to add +3 to your roll.
So that's going to be a 10.
Oh, yeah, that's definitely a success. Bobby, it's easy enough for you. And you just roll your eyes a little bit. You're just like, this password's really easy because she wanted it to be easy. So it's literally, you know what? I'm gonna let you come up with the password. What is the secretary's password to her her computer?
All right, so Bobby's gonna stare at the login screen for a minute, and then he's gonna just type in the view and hit enter. And then as the computer unlocks and comes to life, he's just gonna put his head in his hand, and he's just gonna be like, Mrs. Jones, I told you had to change the view. Really, you need at least a number in there and some fucking whatever. And he's gonna let the computer log on and finish booting up, and then he's gonna pause as he stares at the computer, right? And then he's gonna take the mouse in his hand, and he's gonna try to open Google.
Okay, so you open it. Now the important question: are we using Firefox or are we using Google Chrome?
No, we're using Google Chrome because that's just standard.
Oh my goodness. Alrighty. So Bobby, as you open up Chrome, the Wi-Fi is currently working at the moment somehow. And you type in, you enter Google and you open it up. So you are now on Google's homepage. So what are you going to look up?
So Bobby's going to start by typing in apocalypse and see if anything number one search topic, if that comes up.
Oh, alrighty. So as you type in apocalypse, Bobby, you get like way too many search results for apocalypse, and and it's just you get the definition, you get like multiple apocalypses, like you also get the cartoon like Apocalyptica for some reason as well. So
all right, so once he types in apocalypse and all this shit just comes up, he's just gonna be like, fuck that. And he's going to go straight to looking up some news sources. So he's going to go to like CNN. He's going to go to Fox News. He's going to run the gamut, like from they're all going to be major news outlets, but he's going to open one tab and he'll have CNN on one tab. He's going to open another tab, have Fox News on another tab. He's going to open another tab, have MSNBC on that tab, so on and so forth. And he's gonna look to see like what the current news is right now.
Okay, so let's see. So as you are opening the tabs, Bobby, you go into your element and you start cross-referencing through different websites, checking sources, all that stuff. Now, as you are looking for specific details about what is actually going on, you're starting to see some small articles from these major websites about some sort of disaster that broke out in Sequoia Falls. But as you're reading the articles, it doesn't seem that there's enough information. And what's even more disconcerting here is that you all know that there are zombies in this town, given the fact that you ran into one on the way over to the church. But as you are reading it, you start to see that the article doesn't mention these zombies. And in fact, it doesn't mention a lot. What you do see is that the authors of these articles are just talking about some sort of medical outbreak virus type of thing that has happened in your little town / city. But there's no mention as to zombies, that the Walking Dead are there. It looks like they're being very vague. Now, Bobby, what I want you to do is I want you to roll me a brains at a +3 to the computer. And I want to see how high you get because it's going to determine a couple more pieces of information.
17.
Shit. All right. Okay. So, Bobby, as you are continuing to cross-reference the various articles, you're starting to see a repeating pattern of these journalists saying the same thing, that it's some sort of more of a medical emergency and medical outbreak in Sequoia Falls, not mentioning the living dead. The other pieces of information that you're actually able to get is one article mentions that there seems to be some sort of upcoming response from Vantatech, which is a kind of a medical technological corporation, and they're going to give a statement to address what is happening in Sequoia Falls in a couple of days in the neighboring city. But more importantly, you start to see a pattern because as you are, so like when you click on news articles, they usually give you like related stuff to whatever is the main topic that most online news outlets tend to have. I should know because as a teacher, I set these up for my students to do research in, so I know this all too very well. But as you click on these articles, you're starting to notice that there seems to be other small cities within New Mexico that are experiencing something similar. But the one thing that also gets your attention is that you see an article mentioning this same phenomenon happening, but on a more grander scale that it seems, and progressing a lot further than your small little town, that is happening currently in Las Vegas, which you know is where currently your other Troop 202 member Diego is currently living in as well. And you're reading this article about what's going on in Vegas, and it seems that it's the same phenomenon, but because it's a bigger metropolitan area than Sequoia Falls, there's more of a massive scale. But once again, it's being attributed to some sort of medical emergency, medical outbreak. But those are the pieces that you find.
Okay. Other than that, though, is there any current news about what's going on in the world? So, in other words, from all the articles and whatnot that I'm finding, it appears that currently this is sticking to like New Mexico and Las Vegas, so probably like Nevada. But he would also like to check if Washington, D.C. is on lockdown, or if like the news coming out of Washington, D.C. is like the normal everyday news. Is New York City in lockdown, or is the news coming out of New York City normal everyday news? Is Boston on lockdown? Is London on lockdown, or are they just reporting regular news for those big metropolitan areas?
Okay. So with that 17, as you continue to do some research, when you start more of a micro scale, like within the vicinity of your own area and your own state, you're starting to see these similar stories. But as you expand the scope of your research to include a more macro viewpoint of the world, you don't see anything happening in other states, other countries, anything else in the world. It seems to be more focused on whatever is going on is happening within your county and your town, and also any neighboring districts in New Mexico. But it doesn't seem to have gotten to the point where it's starting to spread to the other states or even to the rest of the world as well.
Okay. So then the final thing Bobby is going to do is he's going to start looking up local message boards, local chat boards. He's going to look up Reddit. He's going to look on Twitter, Instagram, and see if anyone from Sequoia Falls has posted anything in regards to we're here, meet up here, watch out for here, blah, blah, blah. So he's now definitely going to look for more neighborhood news. And also if there's an online Sequoia Falls Gazette or something like that, he's gonna and YouTube, he's gonna scour YouTube too. And he's gonna check like the YouTube shorts.
Okay. So I'm gonna have you do two things, Bobby. First, I would like you to roll me a d10.
6, the number of the beast.
Okay. All right. So now, thank you for doing that. Just wanted to see what would happen next. And now go ahead and roll me another brains with a +3 because of your computer patch.
11.
Cool. So now I get to do something fun. Let me pull up my map of New Mexico. A little peek behind the screens to the listening audience. I do a lot of my research for these games, especially when I base it in real life locations. Alrighty. So to give you a little bit, and this is for the rest of my players as well, to give you all a little bit of some information. So the fictional town of Sequoia Falls is located, if you were, and I'll post, this is bad podcasting, but I will post a picture in the general chat in a little bit. But if you were to take a look at the map of New Mexico, your little town of Sequoia Falls is within the Sandoval district of New Mexico. And it is kind of close to it's basically, Sequoia Falls is the closest city is San Ysidro. And so, Bobby, as you're taking a look and scouring the social medias and the YouTubes and all that stuff, you're able to find that there was a bit of news. Granted, as you're looking through the feeds, you're seeing a chronological timeline of things going off, pictures and videos of the zombies. It's like one of those people, like, we're recording something and then they're holding the phone, so all you're doing is seeing like the phone move with the person. You're just seeing feet running and things like that. But probably the most important piece that you find is, as you're looking through all of this, the videos, the social media posts, all that stuff, you find that apparently, as was mentioned, Vantatech, the tech company that I mentioned not too long ago, they posted that they would also not only be doing their conference, but they will also be guiding people to a safe zone at their headquarters in Santa Fe, which is a little bit away from where you guys are at. So let me post this map for y'all real quick, so that way you have it. Yes, Amador, it is the scene from Signs with the Alien. Oh my gosh, it's great. But yeah, so that is probably the biggest piece you find from the social media posts, Bobby, is that there is a safe zone supposedly over in Santa Fe.
Okay, and with that, I am going to shut the computer off, and before I head out of the office, I'm going to just look out the window one more time, because we're getting towards nighttime now, right? Because you said it was late afternoon.
It was like 4 or 5 o'clock, so we're getting towards the evening of things.
Okay, so I want to take one more look outside, looking for zombies, but also checking to see if any streetlights come on, if there are any buildings or houses that are visible from the office, if any lights have turned on in those buildings or houses.
So as you are looking through, you notice that the streetlights do come on, Bobby. And so there's a little bit of power. But as you're looking for any other signs of life, don't really necessarily see anything out of the ordinary, at least what you normally would see. I need you to give me another brains roll.
5.
Okay. Barely, but that is enough to pass. As you are looking out, Bobby, again, lights come on. You don't see any other signs of life, no signs of zombies. As you're getting ready to retreat from the window, it's like one of those things where you take a last glance out before you leave. And as you take this last glance, you see a black hooded figure kind of walking their way across the street from the left side to the right side of the window. And they're just walking nonchalantly. And as you're following their pattern, it seems that they're going to be heading up towards the choir, like the street that is facing the choir loft in the church, and walking that direction. And you're following this hooded individual until they disappear from your vantage point of the window.
Bobby's gonna mutter to himself, all right, fucking zombies are one thing, but if I gotta deal with fucking cultists, I want to go fucking back to Boston and fucking deal with cultists in Boston. The fuck. And he is going to head out and look for Arty and Alex.
Cool. So you leave Mrs. Jones's office. Nice office lady. You leave Mrs. Jones's office, you close the door behind, and you make your way back to the main sanctuary of the church. So at this time, Bobby, as you are walking in, coming from the door leading to the trailer where you guys have your meetings, walks in Alex and Arty. And you first thing you notice, Bobby, is all of the snacks and the water jugs that they were able to find. More importantly, you recognize that Arty and Alex have found Padre's stash of secret sweets that you all know he has, but you pretend to not know where it's at just because we like the Padre, so we respect boundaries somewhat.
As Bobby sees the two walk in with the spoils of their searches, he's gonna look at the stuff. He's gonna be like, "Diabetes is on the menu for dinner tonight, huh?"
Don't look at me. Look at Padre. He's the one hiding all the snacks. I know. It's the best that we got. Yeah, it'll do for now.
At least it looks like we aren't gonna have to be drinking our piss anytime soon.
Yeah.
That's a lot of fucking water.
It is a lot of water, but it isn't going to last forever.
Nah. Now, let's think about this, though, because the streetlights are on, all right? And we still have electricity. So if we still have electricity, that should mean that the water treatment plant should still have electricity. So tap water should still be okay.
Except there's no pressure here, really.
Yeah.
The water pressure is like non-existent almost.
Fuck me sideways. All right. So Bobby's gonna sit back down, crisscross applesauce on a pew, and he's like, "All right, so you boys want to hear the good news, the bad news, the worst news? How you want it?"
Ruin my day. It's already ruined.
Yeah, make it. Let's hear the worst news. That way, the good news can make it somewhat better.
All right. So apparently, this is a local situation that we got going on here. From when I found out, it's our county, neighboring counties, some other counties in Arizona. I'm sorry, some other counties in New Mexico. Looks like Vegas is being affected. But as I was looking, I didn't see nothing in any of the major cities like New York City, Washington, D.C. Those fuckheads are still fucking everything up normally. I guess that's a good thing, huh? I did see... does the name Vantatech mean anything to any of you guys?
Not really for me.
I could imagine maybe my mom's worked with them or worked with the stuff that they give the hospital, but that's about it.
Okay, so apparently they're all over this fucking shit. Supposedly they've set up this safe zone over in Santa Fe, but on the flip side, they're apparently coming to do the mitigation of this issue. So I don't fully know what that means. If they are going to go fucking Silent Hill on us and bring the troops in, or if they're just going to fucking nuke us again. But I did see some news that Vantatech is coming to deal, and Bobby will do air quotes with his fingers, deal with this issue.
I don't know if it's my anxiety or the paranoia I've picked up from, again, 4chaners and Redditors, but maybe them dealing with the problem would include us. This can't be leaked out. If someone knew that there were zombies on the loose, and we know that there's zombies on the loose, and they don't want to keep us hush-hush, the easiest way is to, how you guys say wherever you're from, Bobby, a long walk on a short pier?
Oh, indubitably. A fucking long walk off a short fucking pier. Which reminds me, something else that I saw, all the fucking news coming out of our towns and our beautiful state of New fucking Mexico is downplaying the whole fucking zombie thing. There's not even a fucking mention of it. While everyone else is fucking walking around playing fucking tiddlywinks. They don't think anything's happening out here. Now, mind you, when I checked YouTube I got a pretty concise timeline of the fucking events of shit. But all the main news medias, they ain't saying fucking shit about what's going on.
So, from what I'm understanding is we have to get the fuck out and get out really fucking quick.
Arty, I think you hit the fucking nail on the fucking head there. But we can't fucking go nowhere without the rest of the troops, you know what I mean?
I feel you. I guess it's Bubba's either tonight or tomorrow.
Seeing how we've all been properly traumatized this night, this day, maybe perhaps we should fucking take shifts. One of us take shifts and while everyone else sleeps, and we'll just switch off, and then we'll just wait for everyone else to wake up.
Sounds like a good plan.
What say you there, good Alex?
That's saying it sounds good to me. And here, since you guys woke me up anyway, I'll take first watch.
Good, because I feel like trying to sleep off some of this fucking anxiety.
Time to hit the old dusty trail.
And with that, Bobby's gonna find a pew and try to make himself comfortable. And he's gonna do the fucking thing where he's gonna take a Bible, he's gonna open it up and put it over his face. So it covers his face, and he's gonna try to go to sleep.
Awesome.
Arty's gonna roll off the pew and sleep on the floor in between, hiding himself.
Alrighty. All right, so that just leaves Alex. You're going to be taking first watch.
Yep.
Alrighty. Most excellent. Alrighty. So, Alex, as you're taking first watch, you take into sight Arty and Bobby just resting up a little bit on one side of the church. On the other side, CJ and Ozzy and Gabe and Padre also trying to get some rest, which kind of leaves you the only one awake per se. Now, as you sit there and you process everything that has transpired so far, I would like to take this moment. Alex, why don't you give us a rundown of what Alex is currently going, his thought process is right now. Where is our emotions at? Give an internal monologue, so to speak, of what our good old Alex is going through right now.
The main part is he just stares off in the distance. Is just, first of all, just where's his family? How are they doing? That's always the first thought in anyone's mind when the apocalypse hit. Well, besides making sure that they're alive themselves, but this is one where his dad, mom, and brother are. And I was just thinking, how the hell are they going to get out? Because depending on what exactly is wrong with Big Bertha, it may not be something we can easily fix and be able to drive off next day or next morning with. And just all those different thoughts just run through his head throughout the time he's watching. Just mainly, okay, so how are we going to go about this? How are we going to go about this? How are we going to go about this? Just think of all the different possibilities that can happen as they try and get to safety.
Okay. Alrighty. So, Alex, as you are decompressing in more of a better term here, you hear, as you're decompressing, you suddenly hear what's in the stillness of the church and in the quiet. Now, we know that Padre can snore, but even in between the snores, you start to hear what seems to be a commotion coming from upstairs, but more so at where the bell is at top of the bell tower.
Okay. At this point, I'm going to try and wake Bobby up. So I'm just going to walk over to where he is and kind of just nudge his shoulder, going Bobby.
Yeah, yes, I had the fucking ruckus, and Bobby slowly moved the Bible off his face. Actually, he's not. No, he's going to close the Bible, but he's going to hold onto it, and he's going to be that's going to be his weapon. He's just going to throw the Bible.
Putting it out of character, putting a new meaning to Bible thumper.
Oh my gosh, I'm going to hell. I'm just kidding. That was a good way to go, Kel. That was great.
No, but back in character though. If you heard that, we should go check it out.
All right. Do we want to wake Arty up, or we want to
Let's let him rest a little bit longer. We just gotta make sure we can yell as loud as freaking possible if needed.
All right. I can do that. I can scream like a little bitch. All right, let's go.
Oh, okay.
I was so caught off guard. I'm sorry. That's the name of this episode. Scream like a little bitch. No, just kidding.
Nope, you said it. It's officially the name.
Oh, man. Alrighty. Alex and Bobby, you guys make your way back up. You make your way towards the front. So technically it's the front end where the altar is, but it can be considered the back of the church because you came in from the front, from the entrance. Yeah. But the point is you make your way towards the staircase that leads up this little bell tower. So just as a reminder to the listening audience and to my players as well, this is the same bell tower that Ozymandias ended up climbing up, where he found the hooded figure that gave him the shiny piece of mirror to signal SOS, which led our group here. So as the two of you climb up the stairs, you begin to hear, surprisingly, you begin to hear some sort of humming, as if somebody is singing or humming what seems to be a lullaby of some sort. It's just like a regular melody, and it's just continuing on with humming. And it's from this humming, you can tell that it seems to be of a more high-pitched register of voice. So,
do we have to go through the choir loft to access this area?
You do.
Okay. When we walk into the choir loft, are the choir missiles stacked up?
They are. I'm interested to see where this is going.
So as they move through the choir loft, Bobby, so he has the Bible, but he's gonna slowly take a half stack of the choir missiles so that he can, and he's gonna like load one in his hand like a ninja star. If anything attacks him, he's gonna fucking toss choir missiles in the Bible at them.
That is hilarious. I love it. Alrighty. So as you continue on, so you go through the choir loft and you begin to head up the stairs, where as you get closer to the door leading to the opening of the bell tower, like the platform that you're there, you start to hear the humming grow louder and louder, but it's just there. And as you get to the door, I'm assuming y'all are going to open this door as quietly as you possibly can.
Oh, yeah. And with Bobby having their hand primed, I should say, it's probably going to be Alex who attempts to open the door to make it easier. That way Bobby doesn't have to worry about dropping the choir missile to throw.
Awesome. As you two... Oh, I think I know, but just to clarify, Bobby, you're taking lead, correct?
When the door opens, Bobby will... Sure.
Okay. So Bobby takes lead with Alex right behind. Bobby, as you open the door and you two quietly get to the precipice of the entrance, obviously you guys are used to the giant bell of the bell tower hanging above, but as you open the door and you quietly try to turn the corner to see what's making the humming noise, you see a hooded figure just staring out to the distance of the town. And you see what looks to be a black hood with some combat boots and some denim jeans as far as what you can see from the back of this person. And they're just humming. Bobby, you recognize this figure as the same one that you saw past the window as you were leaving the Mrs. Jones's secretary office. And they're unaware of your situation. They're just staring out. They're just humming. They're looking over the skyline, so to speak, of Sequoia Falls, but they are unaware to your presence.
And that's the only individual that's up here right now.
Correct. That you can see.
Okay. Alex, do you want to do anything?
Alex is being quiet there because he didn't really get a chance to grab anything to use as a weapon as we came up, so he's barehanded.
All right, so then Bobby is going to ready himself. He's going to stand sideways, and he's going to put a bend in his feet, and he's going to get that fucking choir missile just ready to toss, right? And he's going to quietly but loudly enough that this individual can hear him is going to say, "I'm going to give you 1 fucking minute to tell us who the fuck you are, or else you're going to be finding Jesus. And by that, I mean I'm going to be tossing these things at your fucking head."
So, Bobby, as you say, this person stops humming, and as you were walking up, they were like leaning against the railing, and so they were a little hunched over. And as soon as you say that, they straighten up a little bit. That this individual is about a couple inches taller than you, Bobby. But as they stand up straight, that this black cloth kind of begins to drape a little more loosely than you thought. So it seems that whoever is inside of this is very petite, so to speak, I guess is the best way to put it. And as you kind of finish saying, as I'm going to throw this at your face, you just hear, not even turning around, you just hear this voice. Oh, come now, Bobby, do we really have to do this all the time? That, we interact like this? Listen, I know you don't like my dad, but come on now. And this is a more effeminate voice coming. And as this figure turns around, Bobby, you immediately recognize this person immediately. You recognize this to be Danny. She is Big Bubba's daughter. She's the one that is your contact, so to speak, in the auto shop. And she just looks at you. Now, why don't you put the Bible down and let's talk like actual people?
Jumpin' Jiminy fucking Christmas. Why the fuck? Excuse me. I'm not going to be rude. Hold on one second, Danny. And Bob is going to turn to Alex. Alex, this is Danny, the offspring of the asshole Bubba that owns Bubba's mechanic shop that we need to infiltrate. And then he'll turn back to Danny and be like, now, can you explain to me why you're fucking sneaking around like a level 15 mage trying to cast Fireball?
I love that. So Danny just looks and is like, for one, I was trying to escape that, as she points down, and you just see zombies in the distance. It's like, the living dead, who would have fucking knew?
I called that shit, by the way, like early on, but that's neither here nor there. Bobby is going to look to where she's pointing, and he would like to assess what the fuck is going on over there.
So Bobby, and for all intents and purposes too, Alex, at this point, the two of you look over the railing and you start to see that there are zombies in the street like there were during the day. But you notice that there seems to be a little bit more now that the sun has gone down a little bit. Again, they are just wandering about, but there seems to be a little more of them. And more importantly, you two also get your first glimpse at what Ozymandias saw as he was escaping from his house. And you see these decaying, zombified pooches, doggos, whatever you want to call them, as well, just stalking the streets, smelling the air, and kind of working in packs of 2 to 3, making their way down the street. And as the two of you look at this and you turn your attention back to Danny, she says, yeah, let's just say that I'm not about to go down there and handle that business. Yeah, that's above my pay grade, I guess, so to speak. But that's neither here nor there. And turns to you, Bobby. So if you would be a dear, I need you and the rest of your Troop 202's help, so to speak.
Why, sure. It would be unpolite to refuse help for a request for assistance. Why don't you come on into our humble abode and we can discuss this where we don't have the fucking mutated dogs trying to sniff our shit out.
Good idea. And she just motions for you and Alex to lead the way back down the stairs. And obviously, you two oblige. You take Danny down the stairs, through the choir loft, back into the sanctuary. As you two and Danny walk into the rest of the group, who are just still stirring about, sleeping a little bit. And as Danny takes in the sight, she says, I wasn't expecting more of you, but I'm glad, because you're definitely going to need numbers, especially for what I'm about to ask you, Bobby.
Oh, well, you don't ask me. See, this is Troop 202 that you're talking to. When you ask me, you got to ask everyone.
Fair enough. Do you want to wake him up, or should I?
Yeah, I'll work on waking him up. Why don't you? And Bobby will kind of give her one of the chorus missiles to read as if it was like a magazine. Be like, why don't you fucking read up on some fucking hymns or some shit? And Bobby will go to wake the rest of the group up.
Cool. So, Bobby, you have no trouble waking up the rest of Troop 202 as well as Padre. So, as everyone congregates a little bit, Danny's standing next to you. And as everyone's just eyeing up and down to see is okay.
When did she get here? I'm just gonna rub his eyes.
She used her fucking level 5 teleportation spell to fucking teleport up to the bell tower. That's why she's wearing the fucking robe. Do you know Danny? This is Danny, by the way. Danny, she's the offspring of fucking Bubba, the fucking waste of space that runs the mechanic joint down the street.
Danny, your dad ripped my mom off. Charged her almost $100 for an oil change. It's fucking ridiculous.
Danny, and you thought I was just being an asshole. Who is the asshole now, Danny?
So you see Danny roll her eyes hard as she just looks at you. Look, I know my father is not on the up, and I agree with you. I promise I do. But actually, he is the, how do I put this nicely? He's the main part of what I need help with. So I know everyone's feelings to my father is not necessarily the best, and I totally understand, and I don't agree with it either. But I need you all to put that aside a little bit because I'm gonna need your help in regards to him.
We have to go get him? Please tell me we don't have to go get your dad.
Not so much as say get him, but more so I need you to look for him. I haven't seen him in about 2 days, and I'm getting worried. He said he would be back, but he hasn't. And I need some help looking for him.
It's possible he may have been turned.
At the mention, yeah, at the mention of that, Alex, you just see Danny give you like the dirtiest look on the planet, and she just stares you up and down, giving you that look, and she says, I have considered that possibility, but I don't want to cross that bridge until I see it with my own 2 eyes. But yeah, that's the reason I need your help. I need your help in finding my father. I do know where he went. Oh, you know what? Let me just explain what happened. Dear old dad thought it would be a good idea to not order any new battery components for the shop for cars and things like that. And of course, he never wants to listen to me, but he thinks he knows everything, but that's besides the point. So now that there are zombies outside, he decides that, hey, we're going to make an escape. So unfortunately, our car needs a battery, and he wants to find some extra ones as well, just in case wherever this happens. He left 2 days ago to see if there was any batteries, because he didn't order any. He went to go see if there was any batteries in the auto shop at the school. That was 2 days ago, and I have yet seen or heard from him then. And I'm afraid that something happened to him or he found himself in some sort of trouble. And I need help going to the school to figure out where the hell my dad went. And as she says this, from her pocket, you see her pull out just the ring of keys. And I promise to make it worth your while. If you can figure out what happened to my dad, I would be happy to lend our shop for you to use whatever it is that you want from it. And my dad has no objection, especially if you save his dumb ass from whatever he found himself in.
But what you're telling me is, if we go get the big oaf you call father, bring him back to you, you're going to give us the keys to the shop?
Of course. The shop is yours to do whatever you need to do. And looks over at all of you. I saw Big Bertha at the edge of town, and I know you're going to need to fix her up. As she looks over to Padre, and Padre, I already told you. How many times have I told you that Big Bertha needs more than just gum and some duct tape?
Hey, don't diss Big Bertha like that.
I said, that's the fucking highest quality of fucking quality duct tapes to be fucking used on Big Bertha. I just have you know that. Okay. Bobby looks at the rest of the group. I can't believe I'm saying this, but let's go find fucking Bubba.
Ah, fuck. Fine.
Guess we have to.
If I was in your shoes, I would do the same. I'll go find your fucking dad. That's the mother, dude.
Oh my goodness. Alrighty. So, with mission in hand, you guys have agreed to help Daddy by going to the school to find out where exactly Big Bubba went. And I think that is a good place to call the session there for tonight. We actually got a lot of cool stuff done. We got some information, we got some snacks to be found, and y'all have got your hook for the first big part of what's about to go down in this game. But that is going to conclude our episode of Brave New Wild. When we come back with next time, we're going to see what kind of things are going on at the school. Where'll Troop 202 find Big Bubba? What's in the school? What kind of trouble did Big Bubba get into? What horrors might be waiting in the hallowed halls of Sequoia Falls Middle? You're going to have to tune in to next episode to find all that out. But from myself, my cast, and the rest of us here at Vibe Tribe Productions, we would like to thank you to listening to Brave New Wilds, a Junior Braves of the Apocalypse TRPG actual play. And, of course, as always, take care of yourselves, love one another, and as always, let the good times roll. Until next episode, we'll see you later, but until then, ta-ta for now.
This has been a Vibe Tribe production. Remember, take care of each other, love one another, and as always, keep those good times rolling. We'll see you next time.